Well, Steve White 09. Well, last month was Pride Month, and the last weekend of Pride Month seems to get a bit more of attention than some of the other weeks and weekends. And Madonna had a little celebration on the weekend for Pride weekend, as she referred to it, and she had a little party. Takishka, is that her name? She was there, and they did some interesting photos. They're very affectionate towards each other. Her kids were there, and friends were there, and her gay crew were there, and they were just all posing with photos with flags and taking photos and stuff. And it was interesting. It was nice to see Madonna continuing to support the community, considering she's the B in the LGBTQ plus community, because she's bisexual, and she has always been. And I do find it funny that when I just Googled Madonna to see if there was any news, and that was the last thing that came up, one of the questions was like, when did Madonna come out? And I'm like, in 1991? Is this still a thing, that this is still news to people apparently? Because I remember a few years ago she did an Instagram or something, or TikTok, where there was like, if you're throwing something in a bin, if it goes in the bin, you're gay. If you miss, then you're straight or something. And she threw, I think, some underwear into like a hamper in a bathroom or something, and it went in, and that was her coming out, and everyone was freaking out because she came out. I'm like, she's been out since 1990 and 1991. She's had relationships with women. We saw her and Sandra Bernhardt basically going out for dates on Letterman back in like 1989. I mean, this is not news, but I do find that funny, and I'm glad that she's always been open about that, and she's always supported the LGBTQ plus community. And there have been a lot of videos I've noticed coming up, old videos people have found, or videos, probably a lot of fans are probably digitizing a lot of their Madonna videos that they tape stuff off TV and they're putting onto YouTube, and that's an ongoing process, I think, where older Madonna stuff resurfaces because older fans are getting into the social media sort of climate of putting everything up and all that. And the videos of her talking about the LGBTQ, well, the gay community back then, because there was no alphabet back then, and especially AIDS fundraisers, and speaking at AIDS fundraisers and having concerts and doing performances to raise money for AIDS. And a lot of these videos are coming up, and she really has always supported the community, and I didn't catch this, and I don't know if the video I saw was edited, but when she got the Billboard Award for Woman of the Year, there's a scene I saw where she was talking about doing runs to Mexico for experimental AIDS drugs and things like that, and all these things for her friends. And I'm like, I don't remember any of that when I watched that speech. But she was talking about her experience in New York, being there at Ground Zero when the AIDS epidemic hit, and all her friends were affected, and she was affected by that, and the things that she saw and witnessed, and going into one of the HIV wards, which were like prisons where they basically locked gay people in so they couldn't, infect anyone, and people wouldn't really go in, and if they did, they were, in full everything. And it was like when Princess Diana went to that hospital and touched men who had HIV and held their hand and talked to them. Madonna sort of did the same thing, where she said she like lay down in each bed of every person, like hugged them, let them feel like some human touch, because they had been so isolated. And I'm like, that's a story I never heard. So it's interesting that some of this stuff is coming out, some of it from interviews that were done recently that apparently were edited from what I saw, and just older stuff that people I think have had from back in the day, that they're finally digitizing and putting up. And on some level, I think Madonna's having a little bit of a, not resurgence, but a little bit of a, I've lost the word, but fans are discovering her. People are finding out that she's got a history, and that she's a lot more interesting than just the surface that you sort of see what she's doing currently. And I think that's going to continue on, because just like I said, as fans digitize old videos and things that come up, and that's one of the interesting things about the sort of online world, is that nothing goes away, and people can totally do a deep dive into someone's history and their career, and that's new to them. So it's all very interesting. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about Madonna's little Pride weekend celebration and photos. And don't forget, Pride is every day of the year. It's not just a month. We have to be proud every day. But I'm glad Madonna has always been there. I'm glad that it's becoming more known, I guess, because a lot of stuff was done discreetly back in the day. Not because she wasn't trying to draw attention, because there were times where she was, but other times where she was donating and doing things, it was just her personally doing things, and it didn't get as much media attention as it should have when she was trying to get media attention. And now it does seem to be getting, things are coming up and resurfacing, and it's all very interesting and all very complimentary to Madonna and her legacy, but her legacy of support for the LGBTQ plus community. But I'm going to go.